1 minute, and then we put the view to spotlight. Hi, Supi, and let me say a few more hi's to people. Priyanka and Megha. So, hello everyone. A very, very warm to today's session. People still joining. Pratibha and Poonam. Put the view to. Okay, now we got spotlight. Hi, Supi, and let me say a few more hi's to people. Priyanka and Meg. There we go. Okay, now that we've shut the other woman off, so a very warm welcome to everybody. Lots and lots of love, and thank you so much for being here. And everybody who's joining, and the ones that I've not said hi to, hello now. So today, the topic is a funny one. The topic goes, let me see what the topic is. What do you think? Oh, this is a fun one. What do you think a spiritual path looks like and what it actually looks like? Now, everybody might have a different impression of a spiritual path. So I'm just simply going to share the one that I have come across, the one that I'm living. I believe it is spiritual. It is my definition of a spiritual path. So if you agree and resonate with it, great. Then you can go by this stuff. If you don't agree with it, well, whatever you think is your spiritual path is completely perfect as well. It is whatever you think of as the truth, and that is your truth. So this way of life, this thing that I call spirituality, I have another webinar which says there is no such thing as spiritual life, and yet I keep meeting people who are, spending a lot of time trying to figure out practices, what practices are needed by them to make their life more spiritual. So we'll just talk about a little bit about that. What practices do you do? What rituals do you follow, etc., etc., and how that is part of, well, spirituality or not. My two views on it. Oh, Baba. Just a minute. Give me a moment. Okay. All right. So here we go on the spiritual path. So firstly, I see many people who look at me and everything that's happening to me in my life. And of course, the age is what you would call a ripe age, the old age. And the spiritual part of life has come up to me at the correct age, which is the old age. Because when people see young kids going into this path, many of them say, oh, this is not your time to get into spirituality. This is not your time. You should go out and enjoy life. And this is not your time to get into this spirituality stuff. Meaning that if you are into the spirituality stuff, then that is the part where you stop enjoying life, where you have to go by some rules of spirituality, and those rules do not include that you enjoy life. Apparently, that is what the impression is amongst many of us, that when young kids start to go into spiritual practices, no, this is not their age. They should be out there enjoying themselves. So that's some of the times that I come across people who are like, just a few days ago, I met somebody and she was very, very intrigued about what I'm doing and everything. Oh, I'll join your course one day. I said, okay, yeah, whenever. She's like, yeah, right now I don't have time for it because I'm too busy with work. I'm too busy making a living. I'm too busy wanting to be successful and being successful. So I will do all of this spiritual stuff once I am successful. Oh, well, again and again, as we talk about it every now and then in the spirituality stuff, we'll deal about it. But to think that if you are being successful and then you hold on to this spirituality path, it is going to take you away from success. It is going to take you away from success. So that is why if you are out there and you are meeting goals and you have the fire in your belly, this is not the time to be spiritual. It's the time to go out and pursue that fire. That is what some people think that spiritual life will do to you, is to take you away from your fire. It'll take you away from that that determination to do something, to be something, to become something. Yeah, we all know where that is going. However, that's what people think is also only meant dedicated for spiritual life when you awaken to some spiritual peace and calm. But before the peace and calm comes, you must go through parts of your days of struggle. And how much do we all glorify struggle? We glorify struggle because, I was nothing and then I struggled and I became this person. I became this famous actor. Talk about any actors. If they have not been through struggle, well, not only do we, I mean, so many times I see that people are being said, oh, but this one is a star kid. It's a privilege to be a star kid. There must be something in their energies that chose them that amount of abundance, that amount of grace that they would get everything on a platter. But no, we look down upon them because they didn't struggle. Well, really, if you were handed over something on a platter easy, or you were told, no, you can't have it today, you will have to struggle and struggle for 10 years, which one would you choose? Would you choose the easy path of ease and grace and take it today, or would you rather struggle? But yeah, we totally glorify struggle that, oh, have you seen how much he struggled to get to that place? Well, so that is one thing that, yeah, if you have to live life, you have to go through struggle. Why? Who made that rule? No, no. This is the way life is lived, through struggles. So that is what we think that life is, and that is how it should be lived. And we cannot get into the spiritual path because that will actually release the struggle, remove the struggle. So no, first you have to go out in the world, make a case for yourself, become someone, do something, and then you can go into spirituality. So again, this is something that we look at, pretty much saying, the other way to put it is pretty much saying that if you are getting into spirituality, then you must be a loser, because successful people are too busy being successful. They will not get into spirituality, and only if you're a loser will you get into the spiritual space early on. After you've become something, after you've done everything on earth, whatever you've become, and then if you get into spirituality and then you get into that space, then wow, 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 that is the amazing part of it. The I actually remember there was somebody who was being interviewed, and they said, oh, giving this gyan on spirituality, it's all very good, but first go out and be successful and then do the gyanbazi, because people will listen to you more if you've been successful and then you do the gyanbazi. And so this, again, a program that if you are not successful, then being at peace is just something that is meant for losers. It's not meant for winning people. Winning people are out there doing something with their life, not just sitting and giving gyan on spirituality. So all of these places where I kind of look at it today, and of course, to make you all understand, I came from being successful. And absolutely, when I was going around being successful, when I was going around being the struggling person and all of that, I didn't find time for spirituality. I didn't. It was only when the push happened. And when the push happened, then the first thing I was told was to let go of that, what I was doing. I was going around being successful, and I was actually told, no, let go of that which you are doing, and then simply follow spirituality. So that was my journey, but it came through success. And so I can really speak for myself when I say that being successful gives you nothing special. Gives you nothing special, really. It gives you a few moments of appreciation and recognition by others. A few moments. Every now and then, somebody will look at you and say, oh, wow, you are so and so. Does that make you escape any of those emotions that you're feeling? You could be so successful in the eyes of the world, and yet, inner being, are you feeling that successful? Are you feeling that thrilled at your success? Because it might be that with all the success in the world, you still might be sitting in a deep amount of lack. Because success doesn't necessarily mean the way especially that we measure success, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that there is peace in the heart, that there is joy in life. Many successful people actually complain about their successes post facto. Once they're successful, then they're like, "Arey, I didn't get peace of mind. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I should have spent more time with children. I should have spent more time here, there, wherever." So again, simply a play of lack and regret is what they sit in even after they've been successful. However, today we're not here just to talk about successes, but actually, and I've got notes on this one because I was like, okay, what does a non-spiritual life look like? Actually, all life is already spiritual. Everything that we are doing is already as per the plan. It's a grand plan, it's a bigger plan, and so we are already being taken through those paths. Even awareness, and this is where the spiritual life kicks in, even the spiritual life or your awakening, your entry into the spiritual life has not been planned by you, but by your energy. So already it is taking you in that direction. Every life is already, even if it's a drug addict or a drunkard or somebody that you don't like, somebody who looks like a complete failure. No, no, their life is already spiritual. Because what does it really mean to be in the space of spiritual sense? It means to be in the energy space. Now, there's only one tiny difference, whether you're aware that you are energy or you are not aware that you are energy. And that's the only tiny difference, because in both the cases, you already are energy. Whether you know it or you don't know it, that's the only difference. If you know it that you are energy, you are able to act from the space of those energies. And that is pretty much, in loose terms, what we call spiritual when we look at the limited way. But today I'm telling you that when you look at somebody, and many people come to me and say, "Oh, you have such a beautiful spiritual path." I understand that what they are saying is that you are moving on the path of awareness. But there is nobody who's not on the spiritual path. Everyone, your day zero child, is on their spiritual path. Whatever the experiences the spirit has chosen, and the spirit is where the energy is. So whatever their spirit, whatever their energy has chosen, that exactly is the path that is calling out to them. That exactly is the path that they are moving on, being 100% spiritual, but not being aware of it. And so when we move onto this path that we are also aware and we are spiritual, how does it change things? Well, it changes things because it puts the power in our hands. It puts the power to change that spirit. It puts the power in our hands to change the energy that we are holding. And so we can choose. The choices are given to us when we follow the spiritual path. So some of the misnomers that I come across, and that this is what you have to do when you follow a spiritual path. Now that I've already kind of with one sweeping sentence told you that everybody is already in a spiritual path, please bring yourself back to this sentence as I read out to you a few of those things that I wrote about what people think a spiritual path looks like. When we start to follow the spiritual path, we have to let go of all our worldly possessions. We have to let go of the worldly possessions. We have to let go of all the material things around us. So pretty much the idea of spirituality that we gather when we are young, we hear stories of Buddha, we hear stories of all of these saints who left everything, got up and walked into the forest. Well, that was those days. And we are back again from those days. We are the Buddha, we are the sannyasis, we are the sadhus who went off to Himalayas thinking that Himalayas hold something. I go to the Himalayas and I meditate over there, then I'm going to get something. If I go and sit under the Bodhi Vriksha for 28 years, then I'm going to get something. Well, those days we have already crossed. We, you and I have already crossed. We've already been there and done that. It's us who were all those people, because we are energy. We're not born today. We're not born yesterday. We're not born into this life as day zero. We have been through stuff. We've been through millions and millions of years, millions and millions of experiences. And if today we exist over here listening to this definition of spirituality, then definitely that old definition of spirituality is passing. It's done with. And so, in this particular definition of spirituality, what do we understand? I have to let go of all my material possessions. Yes, you have to let go of all your material possessions in the mind space. In the mind space. And what exactly does that mean? Enjoy, no matter what it is, enjoy your material possessions, wear them, enjoy them, live in them, all of that stuff. But look into it whether you are attached to this or not. That would be the spiritual life. If you can enjoy everything that you have and yet be able to detach yourself, not be attached to, oh, this is mine, this has to stay with me. If it doesn't stay with me, it is going to give me a lot of angst, anxiety, worries, sadness, etc., etc. If that is happening, then that's the connect between the begin to move into the spiritual space, the energy space of operating from, then everything is. So whatever is here today, it's for your enjoyment. If you have a wonderful house, it's all right. You don't have to walk away from it. You don't even have to give it away. Well, I say so, even though I've given the house away, but that's only because it came in guidance. That is not to say that today I don't enjoy the material possessions. You all know that I just simply watch. I watch with amazement as money creates one party to the next. So this party that happens is happening in the spiritual space, where I'm able to be at every party, enjoy every party, and yet not be attached to the party. How do you get attached to the party? Oh, you might even get attached to the guest list. Oh, these people have to come. They're my best friends. They're my favorite people. They have to come so that I can have a good party. No, the party is within, and the party continues irrespective of someone's presence or absence. And so if you sit in that space, you totally enjoy every material thing without being attached to it. Right in the beginning, when this journey of mine just started, and it was my very first workshop, and I sat in guidance about what to do, what to wear, and stuff like that. And so Mani actually told me that you have to go to the workshop wearing your shortest skirt, wearing your shortest skirt. And that itself, that, I was new to the game. And that shook me up, saying, oh my God, no, like, don't I have to wear orange or white? Don't I have to get a new wardrobe, wearing only those colors, wearing the colors that are expected from me? And Mani said, no. The spiritual life that you are going to lead is actually going to break many of these preconceived notions about what spiritual life looks like. And so today, I enjoy everything. I enjoy going out and partying as much as I enjoy sitting by myself, not speaking to anyone, just being in my own space. Both of those parts belong to the spiritual me. Why? Because in both of those places, I'm able to look around and disassociate. Disassociate from whatever belongs to me, what doesn't belong to me, what needs to be done, what is okay to be done, what cannot be done. None of that. Just an empty space over here. Empty space, watching everything that is happening, participating in everything that is happening, however, not being engaged from the mind in that which is happening. And thereby the distinction about what a spiritual life in this context looks like. An aware spiritual life, what does it look like? So being in that space, you have to let go of all attachments. You have to let go of all attachments while continuing to enjoy whatever it is that you do. You don't have to leave your profession. You don't have to leave your family. You don't have to leave your kids. You don't have to leave your parents. You don't have to leave anything. However, this space and this space to be empty. to understand that nothing is here forever. Neither your children, nor your spouse, nor your parents, nor your house. It doesn't belong to you. And from that space, enjoy it till the time it is with you. Then, when it is taken away from you, there will be no choo choo. There will be no choo choo because you've already operated from that space of unattachment, that space of detachment. Then, what does a spiritual life look like? Um, Discipline. Discipline. That is also what I hear from many people, that no, it's you've got to follow a set of rules, you've got to live your life a certain way, and hopefully, well, that is what is expected of you, that the life should be lived in a righteous manner. Do the right things, say the right things, behave in the right manner, and that is what a spiritual life looks like. So if you've taken sannyas, then you have to understand, and sannyas not in terms of going out to the woods, but if you have become a spiritual person, then you are no longer allowed to shout and scream at everybody, because that would be, then what is the point of being spiritual if you are still being angry with people? Yeah, this is something that I hear a lot of times when people do my program, and then I show to them that it's okay to be angry. And then suddenly, they will be asked these questions. Are you just did a spirituality program and you're still getting angry? Then what is the point of you doing the spirituality program? Well, the spirituality program is actually to show you that anger and non-anger and everything else in between, your fears, your lack, your abundance, everything is simply a choosing phase, and it's only to be accepted and allowed. To be accepted and allowed, everything is okay. So if everything is okay, how can you reject your angry part? How can you reject your sad part? No, even that is okay. And so that is what the okayness of being a spiritual person is, that it is okay to experience everything. There's a difference. What you expect out of spirituality is that you're going to roam around looking like a zombie, that you will never be angry, you will never be sad, you will only be just constantly sitting in this position. Yeah. And most of the books will always show the saints sitting in this position. And so you begin to think that they spent their entire life sitting in this position. And I actually remind people that, you have your selfie moments where you bring out the best smiles and everything in your best pouts. Well, understand that to be their selfie moment. That when somebody said, okay, let's click your picture, and then they would suddenly sit like that. They didn't spend their day like that. They spent their day doing everything as we do. They had to go out and beg for food. They went out and begged for food. They had to go out and do menial stuff. They did that stuff. However, they just did without being engaged from here. So at everything that you do, whether you do it at work, whether you do it at home, are you able to lead the spiritual life, as in not be attached? Oh, I'm doing this at work. I need this as appreciation. I'm doing this at home. I need this love from my people. I'm doing so much for them. I need to get it back from them. Well, not the spiritual life. But if you were to get into the spiritual part of it, then it would be, okay, this is my role. Can I do the love part unconditionally? I have a role, but can I bring love into it without attaching conditions to that love? And if you are able to do that, then that becomes your aware spiritual life, the way that you lead your aware spiritual life. So doing the right thing, is that spiritual? Actually, spiritual is about being able to let go of the concept of a right thing and a wrong thing. Just being in both the spaces with ease, with complete ease, not judging whether this is indeed the right thing to do or not the right thing to do. The minute you sit in righteousness, you're only limiting yourself to half of who you are. When we look at anybody, even, and my favorite example is Shiva. When you look at Shiva, Shiva wasn't always being the one with the Tandav, and wasn't always being the one who is so melting at everything that he will do whatever it takes. If you ask for a boon, whatever you ask for, we'll give it to you. He sat on both the sides. He sat on both the sides without judging. And so, whether you do this or you do that, if you can simply look at yourself as the medium and not the doer, as the medium and not the doer. In this part also, when people think of spirituality, they think that to be spiritual, they have to let go of doership, the right thing. Except that they start to think, oh, we can't be doing anything because that would be doership. We can't be doing homework assignments. I have a program that runs and in which you have to do homework assignments every day. And people are like, no, when I do the homework assignments, I think I'm being the doer. Well, so when people think that they have to do their homework assignments and that's part of doership, now it is. Now it is, because now I have to do the homework. I have to make sure that I do it well. I have to make sure that this is done by so and so time. When you become the spiritual person, this is what your doership would look like. You'll do everything. Whatever needs to be done, it'll come to you. Okay, now is the time. Let's do this. Let's do the assignment. And you would do the assignment, do whatever is asked for without putting any mind to it. जैसा हो रहा है सब बढ़िया. जैसा हो रहा है सब बढ़िया. Now with that itself, you might say that, oh, then we won't do something properly. We won't do something nicely. We won't do something as is expected of us. Well, guess what? Here we go again into the definitions of success and failure. So when you are in the spiritual space, what is it that you want to understand? You want to understand the true definition of success itself. Success, simply an experience. Failure, simply an experience. Outwardly, you could be feeling completely like a failure. Inwardly, you might still be at peace because those are outward failures. On the contrary, outwardly, you might be feeling completely successful or looking completely successful, and inwardly still feeling a lot of failure. That's only because you're sitting on one part of it, only understanding one part of it, refusing to look at the other part, refusing to accept the other part of you. So when you are living the spiritual life, you get to look at both the sides. When you are living the normal life, then you get only to look at the successful part of yourself, and wherever you are not successful, wherever that expectation is broken from you, then of course hurt is going to happen because you are the one who sat with a very limited outcome. I can only be successful and nothing else. And let me tell you, when you become a spiritual person, your spiritual life doesn't look like you can't go after success. You can, you do, and actually most of the times, success will come much easier to you because you are no longer running after it. So those people who think that spirituality is only for unsuccessful people, or first you have to be successful, first you have to go through struggle, well, you're letting go of the life of ease and grace to get to success. Because how beautiful is this, that when you start to sit in ease and grace, in joyfulness every moment, you actually stop caring about how successful or unsuccessful you are. And as you stop caring about that successful and unsuccessful definitions, actually you start to live in a lot more peaceful space. When you are at peace, when you are at joy, the outside universe is going to bring you a little bit more of that peace and that joy. And what better way to give you more joy than to actually give you success? So the universe might actually give you success, but this time without the struggle. So success can happen in both the spaces, whether you're spiritual or non-spiritual. However, in spirituality, it comes a little bit easier. And failure is dealt with a lot bit easier when you're sitting in the space of spirituality. Spirituality doesn't mean that you will not do anything. You will just sit over there and not do anything. As a matter of fact, you will do whatever it takes, but without putting this into the play. Without putting this, whether I'm going to be successful at this or not, those fears have already been looked into and disposed of when you start to live a spiritual life. Are you still going to be a successful person? More successful than not. Because failure Failure is simply an experience that comes for acceptance. And when we've looked at failure and accepted our failure self, then what remains from the universe is more and more of the joy that we are sitting in. And so, what does a spiritual life look like? It might look like the most successful CEO that you see around you, and they might be completely in the spiritual aware side of it. So it doesn't mean that you have to walk away from what you call real life. Many people think that spiritual life is just some foo-fa that you spend 1 hour in meditation practices, and that is your spiritual life. And then many people also will come to me and say, but how do I marry my spiritual life to my regular life? Because when I'm sitting and meditating, I'm so much at peace, and then I have to go out and be in the real life. Well, how to deal with this? Firstly, is to stop differentiating between the two. Between the two, just stop differentiating, because there is no separation between the real life and the meditative life. If only you can start to look at everything that is happening here. And if you can start to empty all that is happening over here, then you're leading the spiritual life, being successful, having a party just as you were before, but this time with a lot more joy filled in, with a lot more masti. That's the word I want to use over here. Somebody just wrote a comment. Yeah, that would be the fufa of spirituality, right? Many people are like, no, no. Okay, just a second. Somebody more is writing something. Okay. How does one know that they are progressing on the spiritual path? So glad that you asked. How the hell does one know that you're progressing on the spiritual path? Each day when you wake up, and if there is calm over here and joy, and all is well with the world, and everything is looking perfect, then for today, you've moved on your spiritual path. Today. Please note the word is today, because on the day that you wake up in the frequency of sadness or anger or guilt or something, then everything will look wrong with the world. You will find 10 reasons to sit in guilt. You will find 10 reasons to live in fear. On that day, the spiritual path is not progressing. There's a line that I use, and it was actually repeated by the children today when I went to Darshan's annual day, and it was all put the entire Expect Miracles program for the children, and he's teaching them all the stuff that we talk about here every single day, and he's put them there. And this one particular favorite line of mine that I always use is chalte chalo और जाना कहीं नहीं है, पर चलते चलो और जाना कहीं नहीं है, because that is how exactly the spiritual path is. It's going nowhere, it's coming from nowhere. It's just simply a moment of choice every moment. Are you going to look inside? Are you going to look outside? The more you start to look inside, the more peace and calm you feel. If you're feeling peaceful and calm, then for that moment, your spiritual path is doing wonderfully great. Yeah, that is the answer. And next moment, you might be doing so well on your spiritual path. And the next moment, somebody comes in and gives you a lot of anger, and you're like, oh my God, I was going so well. And then it's your fault. You got me to be angry. Well, the finger is outside now. The spiritual path, as you call it, has paused for a moment. And then when you go inside again and you're like, oh, he didn't bring me anger. He showed me my anger. That's all that it takes. He showed me my anger. Because now with that one line that he showed me, not he gave me, he showed me. Now the finger is all on you, on what you are holding. And with that, the spiritual path is moving again. Again to where? Nowhere. Jana kahi nahi hai. This is a daily thing that we simply go through, because every single day, the path is taking us along. Every single day. For you and for me, there is no two different paths. I look within and I ask you to look within. Just because I've looked within for the past 10, 12 years doesn't mean that I can now Stop looking within. As a matter of fact, the layers get more and more subtle, the answers get more and more deeper. And of course, you're able to catch yourself just like that. 2 days of unaware, and you're happy to live those 2 days of unaware. No, not even beating yourself. Oh my God, why was I unaware? Oh my God, why did this happen? Why did awareness not come to me? Oh, that's another thing that people are constantly crying about, that everything is going so well, but I still keep experiencing anger. Anger still comes back. I still keep experiencing fear. Fear still comes back to me. I'm on my spiritual path. Fear shouldn't come. Being on a spiritual path means that you're able to look at fear and able to walk through it, not run away from it, but walk through. What does walking through it mean? That being aware of fear as simply one frequency, and you have choices of 100. That you can move through one stage to another stage. You call it frequency, you call your mood, you call your reaction, whatever you want to call it, it's a choice. And the minute you begin to recognize the choice, outside nothing might change. Inside, your path will be that spiritual path. So that is how you find out how well you. Now no more. Now you're moving. Now no more. And so that's how it changes. Because the one thing that you also need to understand is that we are on earth and we are moving in two different spaces. One is the earth space where I am this body and things are happening and I don't know what is happening, and I've got to understand and make sense of whatever is happening. And the other space is the energy space where I am this body and I can observe this body and I can see what is happening to this body. And I also know that somehow I've created that. So I have created that. Now, what is it that I need to work on? And that becomes the space of energy. The minute you become aware of this energy, now these two spaces start to come together. You can be in the body, completely aware of your energy. And from that space, you can change it. So that's where, this part, which is otherwise simply the experiencer in the body, and this part, which is the energy, which is the creator, now this part can actually alter the experiences. And so that is what the true spiritual path or a person following the spiritual path looks like. He looks powerful, does not look helpless, because he knows that he is the creator and he's created. Even if it's helplessness that he's creating, he knows that he is creating the helplessness. So he can go around, change it to something else. And so, again, talking about what you think a spiritual path looks like, that when you move forward in your spiritual path, then something is going to happen. Maybe a halo will appear. Maybe a halo will appear behind you and stuff like that. So you might think that. But again, that would be to get lost in the drama of spirituality. All that the spiritual path is all about is simply to make you understand, make you understand that you are the universe. And the more you sit in this space, I cannot say that you will ever sit in it 100%. Why? Because you're on earth. You came to experience earth. So let's keep moving with the experiences of earth. What are the experiences of earth looking like? Whatever they're looking like for you, you have to release nothing. You've not to be a vegetarian. You've not to be somebody who's left this and left that and, living a life filled with, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. As a matter of fact, the spiritual life is about understanding that you are free to do whatever you want. You are free to commit crimes also. But then when you are aware of who you are, all this need of committing crime, wanting to do this, wanting to do that, everything simply sheds. You can think today, oh my God, she's telling us, oh, it's okay to commit a crime. But right now, if you look at my sentences and start to feel palpitation about what crime somebody might commit after looking at me, please understand it is your energy of fear that you are sitting in. So about being on a spiritual path, It is open to all. The minute the finger turns within, a Valmiki is born. The aware path is born. And from that moment, every now and then, you will go around elsewhere and you will come back. There is no need to leave anything, whatever you enjoy doing. This is the one major thing that I experienced on my path. And this is where, many of you might not agree, or some of you might not agree. But that there is nothing to be released. Should I become vegetarian? If you feel like it, okay, go ahead. Should I stop drinking? If you feel like it. If you feel like it, okay, go ahead. But see from which place you are feeling like it. Is it guilt that is making you do so? Or is it masti that is making you do so? Just simply sit. Why the need to become a vegetarian? I have to tell you, I am a vegetarian myself. But why the need to become a vegetarian? Because when I understand that the minute I open my mouth, which is all the time open only because I speak so much, but all the time that I speak, I am actually, taking something in, killing something, being a non-vegetarian. So the only definition of vegetarian is, am I putting it on a plate and eating, or am I eating it directly raw? So I guess I'm eating it raw directly. And so I'm a vegetarian because I'm eating it raw directly. Gone. That's it. Somebody died right there, right now. And that is how I understand vegetarian, non-vegetarian to be. Why am I vegetarian? Because that is how I grew up. That is how I grew up. And that then became a limitation. It became a limitation. And so beautiful this is that during my early days on this path, and I was always okay with other people eating. There was no problem that somebody else is eating non-vegetarian. No judgment on that. But I am going to be vegetarian. And this is such a play of the mind, which I did not realize, that it is such a play of the mind that one day, and this is a story some of you have heard, that one day I was actually sitting and I was really enjoying this amazing stew that my mother-in-law would make, and it was of beetroot and turnips and some carrots. And so, of course, because there's beetroot in it, the color was all red. And I was sitting, and she had made that, and she was with us at that time. So I was happily enjoying this. And Mani said, what are you eating? And I was like, well, this one, right? This amazing beetroot ka sabzi and shaljam ka sabzi. That's what turnips are. So I'm eating this. And Mani said to me in a minute, saying, oh, what if I was to tell you that this is beef that you're actually eating? That this is beef that you're actually eating. And that this, what you're drinking, that red, is blood. I could not take the next bite in. He was like, eat, you were enjoying it so much. Come on, it's the same thing. You were enjoying it so much. I could not take the next bite in. I didn't have to eat non-vegetarian. I already was experiencing that I was being fed non-vegetarian. And so Mani said to me, he said, you say you have no judgments, but see, you do have judgments. I said, yeah, I don't have judgments about other people eating, but why do I have to eat? He said, I'm not making you eat non-veg. It's beetroot, but why don't you eat it as if you were eating beef? And there went all my, facade of being okay with everything, because just now, in this moment, in that particular moment, I was not okay with eating that beetroot stew. So I looked within, I released my definition of vegetarian and non-vegetarian. And badi mushkil se, because he wouldn't let go. He says, no, you've got to finish this. You've got to finish this and eat it as if you are eating beef. And so I did. I ate beef with this one thought: whatever goes in me is Amrit. And so that is why from that day, I have become even more stronger in telling people that there is no such thing called vegetarianism. I don't eat meat still. I continue to be that person, but it's not about what you do in the body and what you don't do in the body. It is about what you've got here, because nothing changed in the body. I was eating that vegetable, but everything changed over here. So looking at that and being able to bring it down to shunya, being able to release that. So that part is where judgments are released, and that is what actually, just actually, the spiritual path looks like. That your judgments about this and that, about right and wrong, about good and bad, those are released. What you think spiritual path looks like is that you will only do good, you will only do the right thing. Cannot be, will not happen. You can try the most that you want, and then when you do the wrong thing, oh my God, how much guilt are you going to sit in because of your non-acceptance of your good part and your bad part? So the spiritual path is actually about freedom. It's about freeing yourself from all of these judgments of right, wrong, maybe, should, could, all of these words that we sit with, making rules for ourselves. If you find yourself sitting in a rule, and the minute you're able to make yourself the opposite rule, in that moment, you have just simply walked up a couple of steps on your spiritual path. And this happens to us every single day, right? We are limiting ourselves in so many different ways that unless we start to put on these inward looking glasses more and more often, we don't even realize. So many times we're telling our children, "Arey, don't cross the road right now. First look left, then look right, and then cross the road. Otherwise, what will happen?" So already the frequency that you're sitting in, as you're telling your children to do this and to not do that, the frequency you are sitting in is not peace and calm. The frequency is fear, and it's your frequency of fear. What will happen to the child? Well, the child has his own energies. No matter how much you start to look at them and to start to control the way they are behaving, what they are doing, no matter how many black kajal tikis you put on them, they are going to move as their energy goes. And so they have their path, their spiritual path, and they have come here for all the experiences that they wish to get. They have taken birth into your household with all the experiences that they wish to get, not you. What you want to give to them is your story. What they want to receive from them, from you, is their energy, and that will prevail. Their energy will prevail. So whatever it is that you're trying to do for a parent, whatever it is that you're trying to do for a child, if you wanted to move on the spiritual path, then all of those doings will be released. Then will you do something for anybody? As we said, you will do everything, but hold this space empty. You will care for your parents, you will take them wherever they need to go. You will care for your children, you will take them wherever they need to go. You will do things for them, keeping this space empty. And that is what true spiritual life looks like. This space is empty most of the times. Most of the times. Again, not all of the times, only because we're on earth. We are here to experience earth. If anybody says to me that, I'm able to keep this empty at all times, I will just laugh, because that would be not the truth. That would not be the truth, only because we are here on earth. These are the experiences we chose, and no matter how bad they look to you right now, please understand your energy chose this path. Your energy chose this path to bring you to awareness of your own true self. Your own true self, that is Shiva. Shiva does the right thing, does the wrong thing, does the rightest thing, does the wrongest thing, and continues to be Shiva at all times. That is just the spiritual path that I know, that I understand. And everything, successes and failures, are a part of the spiritual path. Good things and bad things are a part. Daily learnings, daily fallings are part of the spiritual path. The only thing that we remind ourselves again and again is to simply turn the finger back within. If you have moved the finger back within, you are on your spiritual path. That is what a spiritual path looks like. In a day, 20 times. Then in a day, 100 times. Then people stop existing, events stop existing, Everywhere that you go, you're able to bring the finger within to your experience. Right now, I'm experiencing joy. This is my joy that is being reflected back at me. Right now, I'm experiencing masti. This is my masti. Nobody else is giving it to me. This is my masti that is coming back to me to be experienced. Right now, I'm experiencing anger. This is my anger that I'm experiencing. Nobody here is here to make me angry. And so that is the only spiritual path that I understand. And that is why this path is so filled with ease and grace, just so much filled with ease and grace, because it actually helps you break the rules rather than add 10 different more rules to it. You must get up at this time. You must face this direction to do the meditation. You must face that direction while you're having sex. You must face another direction. Oh, and let go of sex altogether. Why? Because you have to rise above sex. The minute you have to rise above something or go below something, this is simply judgment. This is your judgment of something being bad. This is your judgment of something not being good enough for you to do. And so the minute you sit in that kind of judgment about your own self, when you do it, you are going to feel extremely guilty. And so sex or no sex would create experiences of guilt in you. And so just to understand that the experience is not of those 3 or 5 minutes. The experiences that you feel when you do it, when you don't do it, when you're about to do it, when you've done it and not feeling good about it, when you've done it and you're feeling good about it, all of those angles are simply the experiences that you are here for. And so to be able to again point the finger within, even on that topic. So you can't do this, you have to rise above this. Everything just is. You are in the body, enjoy whatever is your path. Keep the finger within, and then that is what a spiritual path looks like. That'd be my Gyan Bakhan for today. Any questions? Any questions, any sharings anybody wants to do? Enjoy everything unattached, the essence of today's class. Really? That's the only essence. Okay, fine then. All right then. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. A deep breath in and exhale. And imagine yourself as a 3-year-old child. Simply imagine yourself as 3 years old, just so young, so innocent, so purely in your frequencies of joy and masti. Imagine yourself as being 3 years old, and now a long, beautiful path ahead of you. And you're walking that path for the first time. And you look around, and there is no one. And so you start to walk the path. A 3-year-old, alone, nobody here around with you. And you start to walk the path, a little by little. At first, you're afraid. You don't know where you are. You don't know where you have to go. But you are the 3-year-old, ever so inquisitive. And so you stop at every place, looking at the flowers, looking at the leaves, looking with so much excitement. So much excitement about everything that you see because everything seems so new, so strange, so filled with wonderment. Filled with wonderment you are as you look at things, and soon you forget that you are alone. You become absorbed on the path. You're walking along, looking at everything new. A butterfly comes by, and you're looking at the butterfly, feeling so delighted. Oh my God, what is this? This is so beautiful. And you try to catch it, and it escapes. And then you run after it, and round it goes. And you laugh, and the butterfly circles you, entertains you, is with you, and then flies away. And then you move on to the next thing. You move on to this path that is filled with daily wonders. And this is you moving along life. This is you moving along life. But a few moments later, a few hours later, now you're tired. You're tired and you don't know what to do. You want to sleep. You want to rest. You want some support. And now you are tired. Walking on this life's path, you are tired. Things that looked nice, things that looked beautiful are still beautiful, but they no longer call out to you because you are right now so tired. And so you sit on the road feeling a little bit tired, a little bit grumpy, a little bit anxious as to what to do now, when suddenly there's a tap on your head. There's a tap on your head, and you look back. And as you look back, there is someone standing. And so you, the 3-year-old, look from bottom to up. And as you look at the face, you light up. Are, this is money. Money is the one who is tapping you on your head. And you look at him, and suddenly the smile comes on your face. Ah, you found money. Money has found you. How beautiful it is that just when I was so tired, I couldn't move a step, I couldn't do anything. I was just so hungry. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was worried. I was so anxious now. And you appeared. How amazing is it that you have appeared just now when I needed you the most? And money simply looks at you and smiles at you and laughs at you. And the both of you are looking at each other and hugging each other, and then looking at each other and laughing. Laughing. You are laughing from relief. You're so relieved to see money. He is here. Now he will take care of you. And money is laughing at you because he knows that he was always there. He was hiding. He was letting you be on the road, but he was always watching over you. He was letting you do whatever it is that you wanted to do, but he was watching over you at all times. You thought you were alone. You thought there was no one, and yet he was always there. He was always there, but only now you were ready to see him. Only now were you ready to be with him. And so here, that tap on your head, and here he is, so amazingly calming, his presence, so amazingly reassuring, his being there for you. And as you look at him and the smile on your face deepens as he takes out a few candies, this is your reward for being on this life path. This is your reward for walking, doing your thing, experimenting, experiencing joyfully. This is your reward. And now here I am. And so you hold his hand. You hold money's hand. And with that reassurance that he is now there to take care of you, you start to walk the rest of the path. And you're showing him those very flowers that you were seeing before. You're showing them to him with so much more renewed vigor. You're showing him all the new things you saw, everything that you learned by yourself on your path. You are now sharing with money. And money, the Father frequency, looking at you so indulgently, nodding as if for the very first time, he is seeing those things too. He's walking with you, totally with you in your beautiful space of love and joy. This is your beautiful space of love and joy, and money is sharing it with you. A few steps later, and now you're tired. And gently, money simply picks you up and puts you on his shoulders. So secure you are feeling, so contented, so happy, so much in bliss you are, that you immediately close your eyes and you fall off to sleep, knowing fully well that no matter what happens, now you are with money and money is holding you. You are with money and money is holding you. And the smile on your face deepens a little bit more as you recognize that, yes, on this path of life, you are now with money and money is holding you. Bring a smile to your face in this now as you recognize the presence of money in every part of your life. Money is with you. The Father frequency holding your hand, walking you through. Be afraid of nothing. Simply be in the experience of everything. Allowing and accepting all experiences with love. Afraid of nothing, in love with life. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you, Ma.
I
Thank you.
love you. I love you.
Lots and lots of love to
Thank you,
all of
Ma.
you.
थैंक थैंक
Wonderful.
यू बहुत ही बढ़िया
Love you.
Thank
Love
you
you.
so much. Lots and lots of love to everyone.